break. Don't be so rigid. When something happens that you now falter under pressure and you break. Don't be rigid. Don't be rigid. And number two, just because offense is going to happen in your life or is going to happen in life, get this, that don't mean you got to be the one to bring it. Because if you read the conclusion of that scripture, Jesus says this: woe to the person that causes offense. Woe to that person that causes someone to lose their faith. So one, we can see, yes, trouble is going to come, offenses are going to arise. But two, just because they're going to come don't mean you got to be the one to bring it. You do not have to be the one to offend somebody. All right? Now, let's go into this. We're going to look at our key verse. Psalms 42, verse 11. Google Dictionary defines disappointment as this: the feeling of sadness or displeasure caused by the non-fulfillment of one's hopes or expectations. It's the feeling of sadness and displeasure caused by the non-fulfillment of what you have expected to happen. So when you expect something to happen and it doesn't happen, then the spirit of disappointment can come and overtake you. Now, let me be first to say, I am not above disappointment. Things that have happened in my life, there have been some disappointments that have happened. There have been disappointments that have happened. There have been some things that I expected to happen, and it did happen. There was some, like, when they tell you, well, what do you want to do when you grow up? Well, you do this, and you say you want to do this, and you really want to do it, but it doesn't happen, where you have the possibility or the potential to be disappointed. And let me tell you something. Disappointment can literally hinder you living a good life. Disappointment can hinder you living a good life because you expected something to happen and it didn't happen. Some people do this. Some people, has anybody ever been in a situation where you needed a bill paid and you thought that bill, that bill has a due date, and you was expecting by that due date to have the money to take care of that bill, and so happened it didn't come in. And now you walking around kind of disappointed, and get this, if you're not careful, that spirit of disappointment would even cause you to lose faith in God. For this, or I was expecting this, and you didn't come through. So sometimes your disappointment, being disappointed, can lead you away from the one that's going to keep you. So you have to be careful not to allow the spirit of disappointment to lead you away from God. Yes, disappointments happen, but guess what? Just because disappointments happen does not mean God isn't faithful. God is still faithful. God is still faithful. And I don't know why, sometimes it works like that. Sometimes, but I like this. I do know this. God will take care of his people.